How are we doing?
Great.
Yeah? Energized? Why don't you stand up? Stand up a little bit. Let's have some energy. Huh?
Yeah.
Put your arms like this. Yeah? Stretch, 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 stretch. Take the right arm. Well done for listening so far, right? Okay. So, I'm not going to repeat the introductions that we did in the morning, but basically, I will show you one of the things that we implemented this year that gathers all of our thought process and philosophy around diversity, equity, and inclusion topic. What we heard from Taco is the wider impact of the gender equality. We are in a privileged corporate environment, despite the issues that we face every day, and we think, oh, well, how can anybody tolerate that? What Taco said puts things into perspective. What I personally learned after a burnout and a crisis at a certain time in my career, between Q1 and Q2, you usually have some sort of crisis. And then between Q2 and Q3. But what I learned is it's not about me. It's about others. So what can I do to further the impact of what I believe in? Right? Being in this company, making trucks, I'm actually excited about making these big vehicles and the technology associated with future mobility and how the whole supply chain of this works and how does it reach the customer and why is it important? Yeah, I'm actually very excited about that. There are some people who like that, some women who like that, and I am one of them. So it is fun to work where we are. We have fun every day. Not a single day is similar to the other. More importantly, we're very down-to-earth people. What you see is what you get. And we're trying to amplify that. So I am going to flip through the slides, and then go here. This year we launched something called the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Playbook. It's a literal book, but a virtual one. And there are many links to trainings, to material, to philosophy. We are connecting the dots for people and sharing our commitments and giving them practical tools to use, both at work and in their life. Yeah. So this is an attempt at reaching quite a number of people. There were many campaigns associated with this. The video you saw in my previous presentation, the one with the colors, is the manifesto for our diversity, equity, and inclusion. And diversity for us is more than gender. It's way more than gender, although the KPIs that we publish are gender-driven. Okay, so what does this book include? An explanation of our purpose and values, how we got there. What are we committing to do as a company? How did we involve everybody to do it? Examples of what we are doing in different parts of the organization. And as I said, well-being is under this umbrella for us. We're doing some very exciting things, you know, mental well-being, those kind of things, which is a little bit revolutionary for a company like ours, right? So I just want to highlight that. For other companies, it may be the norm of how you do things. For us, that was a bit revolutionary. Then we embedded everything about inclusion and diversity in everything we do. So we changed the processes, we created steps in some processes to test bias, to make sure we are including everybody, to involve diverse people in making decisions, and so on. So across the employee life cycle, or the colleague life cycle, we have each, the colleague life cycle, or the colleague life cycle, we have each, the colleague life cycle, or the colleague life cycle, we have each, the colleague life cycle, or the colleague life cycle, we have each, the colleague life cycle, or the colleague life cycle, we have each, 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 the colleague life cycle an explanation of how is it we do that. And I will show you an example here. Inclusive language tips. Say this, don't say that, right? A different way of saying the same thing that might be excluding people. And some definitions, because we use words. And when you ask people, what do you mean by that? And then you get, I don't know how many different answers. Simple words like teamwork or collaboration. When you ask people, what does this mean? You get a different answer. And you think this is, oh, well, everybody knows that, no? So we try to have the common words that we use in association with these topics really explained with examples so that, okay, are we all aligned on that terminology? Language matters. Words matter. They drive behavior. They drive how people understand them. The other big motto that we kept talking about was listening. And when we talk about listening, it's, so we always start by what is the difference between listening and hearing, and you go, hearing is noise and listening is more interactive. And there are two types of listening to simplify, that we talk about. One of them is listening to respond. I wait for you to finish, so I can tell you how I don't agree with you and how my opinion is better than yours. Yeah? Then there is listen to understand, which is usually followed by a question. Try to explore what is behind what somebody is thinking. So we talk a lot about this concept, and we talk about it in everything we do. How we assess talent, how we manage conversations, how we facilitate decisions. We start always by reminding people of this, which is making a difference. It's a very simple step, but making a difference. And I said we will, of course, we used many languages. There is a dyslexic-friendly font that you can buy, which was developed by a dyslexic person, which I highly recommend that you use. So we did the book in that font. And sometimes I couldn't see the difference, but people saw the difference. So it works. And we had a sustainability week where we shared everything. There was 1 week across the company with lectures, initiatives, all of that kind of stuff, all over the world. And this was launched in that. When I said we look at the whole colleague life cycle, what we did is every topic we broke in 4 pieces. Why is this important? That's the first question we ask. If you don't know why you're doing something, what are you doing? So one of the first things, performance management is an anchor in any corporation, right? You don't touch it. It's like the Holy Grail. And it's a process that everybody's used to. They do it all the time. Everybody complains about it, but they still do it, and they believe that is the right way to go. And one of the first questions I asked when I joined, I was brand new, so I was allowed to ask all of these questions. Why are we doing this? And they looked at me like I'm from another planet. I said, seriously, why are we doing this? And I got blank responses, and I said, I think we've been doing this so long that we forgot why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. So reconnecting with the why allows us to see what doesn't work in something and how to engage more people around it. And challenging the status quo is also an important process. So we started with a definition, why is this important, our commitment as a company, and tips with everyone, and some education around the topic or quotes from people. So all the topics were outlined like this. Performance, engagement, whatever matters, recruitment, all of that kind of stuff. This is another one for engagement. And then we highlighted the language, the very simple, basic things. around gender, around, you know, I am presenting you the CV of this female engineer. It's like, it's an engineer. Female does not distinguish any, you know. You know, we need to put this Asian on a board. No. What are their qualifications? This is demeaning. Yeah. Why is this important? Disabled people. Yeah. There are some things that we do not know when we are saying that we are excluding people with it. People are people. You know? So we started to actually talk about these things and make them part of how we run our business. And this at the highest levels. Yeah. I realize I'm still thinking about Taco's presentation. And I realize we are in such a privileged position to be able to talk about this, right? There's a bigger issue. We also need to make our environments as best as we can, thinking how do we impact others. So we volunteer, we try to extend our value beyond our organizational borders with this exercise. Now, I will stop here. I just wanted to give you a look, a flavor of what's inside this thing and the context that we are in. Thank you.
Thank you.